What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Crypto Rush. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, some of the latest setups for Bitcoin and what it's doing, some of the top altcoins on my watch list, some that have had a major move according to my predictions, and another coin that could actually have a bullish setup for an explosive move. So we're going to take a look at Bitcoin and those two coins, and we are going to be seeing what could potentially happen. Now, before I begin today, if you guys have not yet already, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, like my video, comment if you guys have any feedback or any other ideas. I would love to hear them. And before we begin, I am also not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, as trading in this market is extremely risky, and you should always do your own due diligence before trading or investing in this market, as this video is purely my speculation and opinions of the market. Now, let's begin. We are going to take a look at Bitcoin first. So what has Bitcoin been doing? At first, from last week, we talked about the drop in Bitcoin that was caused by my explanation, which was the weekly candle close for August 10th. There was bearish divergence on the weekly close, and so that caused the initial drop from about 12,500 to almost as low as 11,100. So that was my explanation for the drop, and since then we have bounced back into the previous rising wedge pattern, rising channel, rising wedge, depends on how you look at it, and I have adjusted the lower trend lines to include the drop. Now it seems that we're in a bigger rising channel, and the top of this trend line is at about almost 13K. So this swing up here could actually take us to 13K before we get rejected. So we're going to have to assume that this pattern continues. So if this pattern does continue and price action does not break out, we will go up to about almost 13K. I can't really see the number there, but this could be a pattern that we are going to be in for a little while. So if this pattern continues, I think we're going to hit about 13,000. I think 12,800 here is the exact number. And then we are going to come all the way back down to the bottom trend line of about 11,600. So somewhere in the vicinity of 11,600 to 800 if this pattern continues. So we have a good range, a good price range for us to accumulate Bitcoin. If I was to accumulate more Bitcoin, I would wait until the price action come back down to the lower trend line, expecting that this pattern will continue. But that is just me, not financial advice. And looking at some of the volume that's coming in, let's see if we can see any kind of indication of what Bitcoin may also do. Now, looking at the weekly volume, we are seeing if we extrapolate the volume for this week, so we have about 5 days left, it looks like we might get higher volume than last week's green candle, which is a good sign. That means that we're getting higher buyer volume at higher prices. So that would be an indication that an uptrend might continue, and that we might even break out of this pattern right here. But until then, I wouldn't say for sure, and I would just assume that this pattern continues until a breakout happens. Now we should also look at the RSI, because the RSI is a pretty good driver and a predictive factor of what could actually happen. So we see that since the bearish divergence on the RSI on the August 10th, we have had a little dip, and now we're continuing. It seems like we're recovering back. We haven't really slumped down too much on the RSI, and we could actually beat the previous RSI close at about 69. So if we can actually beat that 69 on the RSI, we can actually go up without seeing any kind of bearish divergence. So that's a good sign, because if I was expecting Bitcoin to go up on an uptrend, on a sustained uptrend, I would like to see it. I would like to see the RSI being clear of any possible divergence that could happen, and that could cause a drop in the price, just like we saw last 2 weeks ago. Now let's take a look at my prediction from about 2 weeks ago, about last week. So last week I predicted that compound was going to be on an uptrend and going to meet the price target of about 250 here, since we had been in this falling wedge for quite some time until about August 23rd, and then breaking out of this falling wedge was not easy because there was quite a bit of resistance that came along with it. Now I mentioned that I had held this coin for some time, and I had finally cashed out of this coin, which was a good payout because I stuck with my predictions, along with, because of the indicators that kept confirming my predictions, which was the rise and the increase in buyer volume with increase in price. So I stuck with that, and I finally cashed out of my position here, and it was a good payout. And I was really happy that this prediction came true, because you can see it was quite a bit of a significant increase in price in just a couple of days. So I was really glad that this prediction came true. I think we're having a little bit of a pullback here on compounds. I would not get in now because it just got rejected at the 78.6% Fibonacci level, and I think it's going to take a little time for it to take another attempt, another stab at it, and successfully break through it. But right now, I think we're gonna see quite a bit of a pullback in compounds. Also because of some other factors that I'm seeing, indicators that I'm seeing that's also confirming this prediction, which is the RSI is pretty overbought on some of the larger time frames. I think if you start from the 4-hour, it had just came down, but the last high on the RSI is about 83. So if you want to be 83 with a new high, that's I don't think that's possible at this time. That's just me. That's just my opinion. But what I think it's gonna do is it may make the same high with a lower RSI, and then it would take another high. So it'll take a triple top to actually break through this 270 level right here, just because the RSI does need to cool down on some of the major time frames, starting from the 4-hour, the 6-hour, and I think even the 12-hour that could use a cool down too. So I am not looking to get back into compound in the very near future. Maybe after this week, I would look for an opportunity to get back in, but that would depend on the situation. But after we get to the 270 level, that would be a very bullish move. But I will also look for any kind of confirming indicators to get back in for another leg up. Now let's get to my prediction for this one other coin that I think could be exploding sometime soon, and that is Kyber network. Now, this coin has been running in quite a range between about 2.05 to about even as low as 1.2. So it has been in this range, has not gone too far above, it has not closed above 2. So a close above 2 would mean something significant, in my opinion, because currently we do see a inverse head and shoulders pattern on the daily chart, which is a bullish pattern, and the measure move for the breakout of this pattern will be about 2.8. That is, if you take the neckline, the distance from the neckline to the head, and then the target move on top of the neckline, that will give about a 2.8 measure move. So that is definitely a big move. But the thing to keep an eye out on is if this pattern plays out. So currently it's still the price action is towards the lower end of the right shoulder, and what could convince me that this pattern breaks out is a daily close above 2, and preferably 2.05, which is the level that has been that just kept rejecting, just keep rejecting the price levels at. So you see, for the past quite a bit of days, we have not been able to break through 2.05. So a close above 2.05 would be very convincing. A close above 2 would still be pretty convincing because up until now there has been nothing but wicks above the 2.0 level. So definitely something to watch for. Those are my confirming indicators to me as to if this pattern successfully breaks out or not. Let me know your ideas on what to watch from here, and if you guys have any opposing ideas to what this idea is, if you guys see something else, I would love to know. At the end of the day, these are just my opinions. So now this concludes my analysis and episode for today. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I do come out with new daily videos every weekday on the latest crypto, altcoins, bitcoins, technical analysis. So I will see you guys tomorrow.